Hey guys, welcome to the second group of video critiques for this week. Um, the nice thing is it can be a little bit shorter than the last time around, simply because I'm going to focus a little bit more on the effects that you did and how they work with the images. And since we already talked quite a bit in the last round about these images, I'm not going to talk as much about just the images as images because we just finished talking about that. Alright, so this time around we're going to be looking at DJ's work, at Becca's work, at Ashley's work, and at Tina's work. So once again, we're just going to do them in order. Oh, I do want to mention here at the top, there was quite a bit of confusion on these. I feel like that's at least partly my fault, if not mostly my fault. I feel like maybe I need to make the directions a little more specific. In my defense, I've never had this much of an issue with this before. So I guess live and learn. I think it was maybe Jared who suggested making some more tutorials. I think I'm going to go through some of the upcoming assignments and ones that I think might need tutorials. I'll probably just going to record those. Just to let you guys know, you never have too many tutorials, right? Especially if if you're having any difficulty. The other thing was that one of the students out of this group, Tina, actually called me, and we were able to do the work together. She emailed me her image and then the wrinkled paper effect, and we were able to do the steps together on our computers and get the result. If you ever run into an issue like that, absolutely call me. I am around. Usually, sometimes it might take me a little while to get back to you, but as soon as I'm available, I will get back to you, and if need be, we can go through. There's also the option of, depending on what kind of software you have, you can do a thing where I can actually see your desktop, and I can say, hey, click on this setting, click on that setting. But I am around, so if you guys are ever like, am I doing this right? Feel free to call me, feel free to email me, and I will help you as best I can. So, having said that, let's get to the images. Alright, so first up, we have DJ's image here. This was definitely one of my favorites from the last round. And he put the film grain effect, which looks absolutely correct. And I feel like this is a good image for it. It feels like an image that could have been shot on film. So adding the film grain to it obviously is working in its favor in that sense. So I like that. I feel like that is a good move there. Now this, excuse me, this actually turned out really well. Again, if I was going to be picky, I would point out that. I guess I just did. I felt like this, though, actually really worked pretty well. It looks the way that it should. Basically, what you're imitating here, those of you who don't remember or maybe didn't see, back in the day, like in the darkroom, you would take like a piece of paper and a paintbrush, and you would take your emulsion, which is like a sort of a jelly, liquidy thing that had the photo, like the light sensitive stuff on it, and you would brush it onto a piece of paper, and then you would expose it. You expose your image to it using a photographic enlarger, and so when you had got the result, you would get these edges. If you wanted to, you could also, just like painting your wall, you could tape off the four corners and make it real sharp. But I don't know. I always like to do it, sort of more this way. So to me, this is actually this looks a lot like it. You kind of get this sort of thing where your image is being, just like with paint. You're basically painting the image on, so you're going to get some of these sort of painted looking edges. Again, I just maybe increase the opacity of that thing just a little bit more so you're not seeing this through there, but very nice. And this isn't I feel like this is not the exact version that we saw in the last assignment. That's not a problem for me. I really like how this turned out. So nice work on that one, DJ. And then I'm guessing this is your, I mean, it looks like the distressed paper, the way that it's overlaid onto the image. But the texture actually, is this paper? It almost looks like a wood grain or something. I guess there are papers that are kind of wood grainy like that. I don't know. You know, you can let me know in the comments. I think that's a cool look. You know, if you want to clear up my confusion, feel free to do so, DJ. Otherwise, I thought that these all turned out pretty good. Next up, we're going to look at Becca's work. Alright, and yep, this is the emulsion edges. I feel like you have the right idea, and I actually kind of think this is a cool effect. This is not exactly what it looks like. I think you did about 95% of this correctly. It looks like you just needed a harder brush. So, you know, if you imagine that we're in Photoshop, you can come up to your brush options here, drop down. You just needed probably a harder edge brush. And also, if you have, some people either already have loaded or can find from the internet sort of a rougher brush look. And that sometimes will help. So yeah, you had the right idea. But the effect is just a little bit soft, and you want it to be a little harder. But I do, it's funny, I kind of like, especially like right up here, the way that these, it's giving these kind of this cloudy sort of, it's almost like a dream, like you're dreaming this scene with the little edges there. I like that. I think that's really cool. Even though it's not exactly what I was looking for, it looks really cool. Here, so this is her film grain image, and yeah, looks like a film grain image. I think too, this is sort of the kind of thing that you would get with film, so this look that you don't always get with digital. It's sort of the way that these lines are defined here, and sort of done here too. So that, I think, adds to the factor of it looking like a film, a print made from a piece of film. You get these sort of edges like this, you get this sort of more defined look like that. And I mean, you do sort of get a similar thing in digital, obviously, because she made it here, but it's also something that you get in film, so that sort of adds to that look of like this was shot on film and printed. And then last but not least, alright, this I think is good. I feel like you need to dial back the effect just a little bit. Areas like this are good, but like this is like really, it looks less like an effect and more like it's kind of taking over the picture. I feel like if you dialed back the opacity on this, you know, if this is like its own layer, hopefully it is, then you just want to, you know, bring down the opacity on it, just so it's not quite so much of it. Like, you don't want it to overpower your image, you just want it to be like a subtle thing that's in the background. So yeah. Alright, let's move on to, I think Ashley's work is next. Yes, okay. Ashley, once again, excellent work. Yeah. So again, this was a smart choice for the film grain look because, as mentioned in the previous video talking about her work, those of you who saw it, this looks like a lot like a black and white image shot on black and white film. So the idea that you would add film grain to this, it makes a lot of sense because it already kind of looks like something that was shot on film. Part of that's coming from just sort of the quality of the light here. A lot of this does look like how those types of images were shot, and then some of these details. And then, as mentioned, again, if you saw the previous video, It reminded me, I said that it reminded me of some black and white images that were shot on film, specifically the work of Robert Frank. So those two things together really do sort of make this look like it's, you know, a print from a black and white negative that would have film grain on it. So nice work on that. Again, so I like this because this is an image that already had like a kind of fun texture to it. So then adding this layer to it really added that also. It's kind of a situation of texture on top of texture. I feel like that works. Like that's the sort of thing where it could very easily get confused or really busy. But I think that's cool. Visual texture on top of simulated real texture. Fun. I like that. And last but not least, yes, I feel like these are really cool. This feels to me like less of necessarily a emulsion edge, and more of just like a really distressed photo. So there's kind of, mentions on here, age effect. Definitely age effect. Yeah, to me that's more what this feels like, is almost like the emulsion is being rubbed or worn away along the edges. That looks cool. Like I said, like I've said previously, if you make a really cool looking image and it doesn't quite, it isn't quite exactly what I had in mind, I tend to be a lot more forgiving just because you made a really cool looking image. So, nice work. I thought all three of those were very successful. Alright. And last but not least, Tina Johnson. Alright, so again, very nice. I feel like this is a really pretty good balance of the textured look with the image. Again, the idea is that like someone has literally taken your image and crumpled it up into a ball and then smoothed it out. And towards that end, this looks like that. This to me looks like someone crumpled this up and then smoothed it back out again. And that's what you want. You don't want like just something like, oh, hey, that guy put or that lady put a filter on there, right? An effect on there. You don't want it to look like an effect. You want it to look like the thing that it's simulating. I think you did a really good job there. Film grain looks good. I also like these. This one is very cute. I am susceptible to cute babies, as previously mentioned. I don't know. I never used to be, but I'm a dad and I have cute babies at home. And I'm getting sentimental in my old age, apparently. But I like this. I like the film grain. I like some of the things that go in here. And I want to get down to this one because I think this was really cool. I was looking at it before. This to me really does look like the emulsion edges. It's not 100% correct because, again, you have this. This should really be like opaque. But I'm not sure what's going on with this. It's like a double exposure looking thing with like a fence or something in the background. I'm not sure. Or like a gate? I'm not sure what that is, but I do really like this emulsion edge look. So again, as previously mentioned on Ashley's thing, even if you don't do it 100% correct, stuff like this, I think it looks really cool. That sort of brushy looking edge. Yeah, I like it. I think it's really cool. So yes, now we've come to that part of the video where I give you the word or words to put below so that I know that you did it, that you read all the way through. And I think dirty socks. Why do I say dirty socks? Because I just happen to look on the floor and I see my son's dirty sock. And I wonder what he's doing in here. Yeah, they're crazy. As you may hear sometimes in the background of my videos, they're usually, especially in the winter, running around the house screaming, being crazy because they run around outside in the yard screaming, being crazy. But no matter if I lock the door or do whatever, they somehow manage to get into every room and leave their dirty socks and toys and whatever on the floor. Anyway, so yeah, you guys are doing this totally right in terms of, post it below on the discussion forum. Use it, just post the words, use them in a sentence. Either one is totally fine. So you guys are, you're doing all pretty well. So yeah, thank you for posting your stuff, and thank you for the rest. All right.